Welcome to AdSquawk.
Super Bowl Super Show.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, well, let's get this show in the can.
Yeah, welcome to AdSquawk,
We're excited to be here.
the Super Bowl edition. Are we allowed to say Super Bowl? It's over.
For an AdSquawk, I think we're just talking about it factually.
Right.
Right.
It's free promotion for the Super Bowl because they need it.
Right. They're going to need it
They're
next year.
going to need it next
We're
year
gearing up
after
for
that game.
54.
Although they did a
SEC.
NFL did an excellent job marketing themselves.
Yes.
I'll say that.
Yeah, boring.
No, they did.
It was so boring.
That
What?
I don't know how.
Oh, the
I
Super.
mean, you can't control the game, right?
No.
You can't control what happens on the field, but as far as their paid media or however you want to look at it, owned media in their case, they did a nice job.
that 2-minute spot they did in the middle of the halftime show that was done by 72 and Sunny.
Yeah.
That
That was good.
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah.
I loved it. The 100-year anniversary spot.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Clark and I were talking, and then Marshawn came on screen, and I hit him. I was like, hey, we got to pay attention.
Yeah.
Now. Like, need to pay attention.
It took the focus away from what's happening in the NFL currently.
Right.
It kind of said, look at this,
Yeah.
this history, and gave everyone a reason to remember why it is now America's game.
Okay, so 44 players, old guard to the young guns, 21 Hall of Famers, 3 groundbreaking women.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't count 3. I counted the one.
I saw
There was the
one.
one. She had she had a really prominent spot. But I don't know.
I don't know who the other 2 were. 11 Super Bowl MVPs, 53 rings,
Insane.
111,257 yards rushed, 214 miles of passing, 412 sacks, 243 interceptions, and 1 destroyed ballroom.
I was gonna say, and 1 destroyed shoulder. Thank you, Peyton Manning.
I loved that part.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the other woman was the female referee.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Okay. So that's
and,
2.
one of the things I think that this shows is that people like to see famous people, sports stars, actors, whatever, be somewhat self-depreciating and or caricatures of themselves. So that's why the Peyton Manning intro worked. That's
It's
why,
realistic, though.
Yes, that's why the 100-year deal worked, and it's why Adam Levine did not work,
Right.
in my opinion.
Took a shirt off, though.
Right, but I don't
multiple
think
shirts
he was. I don't think he was trying to be ironic. My favorite,
No.
or sardonic, or whatever you want to say. My favorite meme I saw was people holding up their couch cushions that looked exactly like Adam Levine's tank top.
Yeah.
It just was like, I mean, there's like people all over the country like holding up their couch cushions and saying, "Look, it's Adam Levine's tank top."
That's hilarious. Speaking of the Peyton Manning intro, I know it's not necessarily an advertisement, but I loved that with John Malkovich.
Holy
and
shit! It was so entertaining.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's chicken parm.
Chicken parm.
It's chicken parm.
Veal, he kept saying veal parm.
Yeah.
And then the other line I loved was when he's like, "That's right. Yeah, there's one of the memes. Yeah, that's right."
It's funny.
Oh God, the when John Malkovich does his first rant, I think it was the first rant where he's like, "Oh, Peyton Manning, the thespian," da da da, and they come back. Peyton's like, I just said actor. We never said thespian. I don't know what a thespian is. It's just like, you've got the L.A. Coliseum. No, the Roman Coliseum.
In Rome, Italy?
Rome, Georgia.
That was so funny. He's so good, though, at that stuff.
He honestly is he's a great actor, and we at our agency we actually have an NFL former NFL player as a spokesperson for a client, and Peyton Manning is the gold standard of what you want. I do find it interesting, however, that not everyone has used him well, and it's easy to jump the shark in campaigns when you've got someone super talented like that. And I think Nationwide's a good example. I love the fact that they worked a Nationwide ad into this copy, right, with the chicken parm.
Yep.
And immediately I think most people in their heads are kind of singing, chicken parma tastes so good, which then makes you think of Nationwide. So that's brilliant.
Yeah.
But I cannot stand the Nationwide, the whole him and I think it's Brad Paisley or whatever.
That
Yeah.
combo.
I posted something about a year ago on that, just saying, see, it's really hilarious if you get the concept, and the concept is that Peyton's not a singer, and it's just
And
not.
it's explaining your joke.
Yeah, they explain
Don't
their
explain
joke
your
during
joke.
the whole time, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
Danielle
So,
Wisdom. Don't explain your joke.
Yeah.
but
It's
that's not. But that's
originally
not. That's not Peyton's fault, right?
No,
I mean,
no, of course not.
And so in this case, I think Peyton, whoever wrote this script, really sort of captured the zeitgeist that is his particular talent, which is sort of that self-depreciation,
Yeah.
semi-ego, but also
I've got a great idea.
not over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
How expensive do you think it was for the 100-year for all those people in the one spot? Do a lot of them do that for free through their jobs if they have an association with the NFL, or are they?
I don't know.
Is there a lot of coin in there?
There's got to be a lot of coin.
Yeah.
Even just in the production itself of it.
Well, the production
Yeah,
does, but I
yeah.
don't know as far as talent fees.
I
how
want
they
to
work
know
with
talent fees because
that.
there were so
it's
many
kind
people.
of like a self-promo for your own company.
Yeah.
But if they're retired,
if they're retired,
then
My bet
do
is.
they have obligations if they're in the Hall of Fame to
I don't know.
help fulfill stuff?
there's
like
got to
that?
be at least a nominal fee. I'm sure a lot of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, they get paid
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And they get flown to wherever they're going and
Yep.
put up nicely, and they
Oh,
have
yeah.
some dinners and some.
It's a nice little reunion.
schmoozing.
Yes.
Some physical therapy for Peyton.
Yep.
That was
That was one of my favorite.
a lot of great table destruction in that.
Yep.
It was good.
That was a good one. Should we keep talking
That was
about the
Draga
ads?
5, right?
Uh,
Or no, that was
no,
to do with
75
Game of
and Sunny.
Thrones.
Oh,
That was 72 and Sunny.
Yeah, 72 and Sunny.
75,
Yep.
LOL.
The Game of Thrones. Let's shift to that.
I love that one because I got caught off guard.
I loved that.
I'm not a Game of Thrones that's the one thing I
not a-
haven't seen. I haven't seen any of it. So
I'm a big Game of Thrones.
I
I'm not
will.
a got
I'll
person
watch it
myself.
at some point. But for me, I didn't like the blending of Game of Thrones and Bud Light.
But
that
did you
one.
get it?
I got it. Yeah, I understood it. But
I thought it was a great cross promotion. I thought it was a great way to kill Dilly Dilly.
it was a good way to
It
kill Dilly
was.
Dilly.
It really was.
Yeah.
Well, why did Bud Light agree to letting their knight get murdered?
Because I think it's run its course. But they got to control
I mean,
it.
and is there really any shame in getting killed by the mountain?
No.
Oh, so like that's
Well,
a
see, it's
specific Game of
yeah,
Thrones character?
yeah, it's a-
Okay, I guess I
it's
didn't
a-
know that.
But see, even people.
And that was
Loser.
a scene in Game of Thrones.
Yes.
The
That
way-
he, like-
the way that he that was one of the most iconic scenes in Game of Thrones.
they show it.
Did
Yeah.
you see that? Did you
And
see
it's
it?
disgusting.
It's amazing.
I did, but I only saw the first
Couple seasons.
3
Oh.
episodes of Game of Thrones.
Oh, so
I-
it's from the first season?
No, no. It's
so
from
season
You
4.
are-
I mean, I kind of got what was going on, and that
Yeah.
there's a tie-in, and
The Mountain and the
that's
Viper.
maybe- I thought, and it was interesting from a business perspective. I thought it was interesting that 2 agencies came together and sort of collaborated on that.
Yeah.
What are the
so-
different agencies?
I think that was Draga 5 and White and Kennedy.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, so Drago 5 isn't just the name of a Game of Thrones character?
Sounds right. Sounds like it though.
Do they represent
It's
the
the
Game of
fourth
Thrones
dragon.
aspect? Hopefully.
Yes, they do.
Drogon 5.
Such a dumb question.
Queen Draga 5.
Exactly.
First of her name.
Queen Draga the 5th.
Protector of the realm.
There was another cross promo one
there was
that
a-
I
there's a few.
also
There
was
was a few.
like,
T-Mobile.
Well,
was the-
T-Mobile had 3 of them.
Yeah, and I loved that
Yeah.
campaign.
It's it's not that's the what I love about that campaign is it's just a good idea.
the texting.
It was so
one.
Yeah.
the cost of
But-
production on that had to be
It's,
next to nothing.
And that's great.
Yeah.
But Cassie, we did an agency overview of Super Bowl spots, and Cassie and I were definitely in agreement that it's like, don't take meme content and then recycle it as though you made it up and it's your own idea.
Did
Because
you
like
just say
that,
agreeance?
might have.
Agreeance?
Are you calling me out?
In an agreement, right?
I think agreeance might
I
be
don't
an
think it's
actual
a
word.
word.
Okay, well, I'll Google it.
If it's a
God,
word,
I feel like everyone attacks
if it's a
me on my grammar.
word, if it's a word, it's like irregardless that became a word. because
Okay,
people kept
don't put
misusing it.
those. Agreeance
putting
is a
that
word
on
that
you.
seems to be continually reinvented
I couldn't
and recycled.
care less.
Right?
Like it regardless.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry,
Whatever.
Danielle. It's Monday.
It's on
Christ.
dictionary.com.
I'm not in a good mood.
Did you find it? Agreeance?
Dictionary.com says it's a noun, and it's now rare, and it's the act of or state of agreeing or being in agreement.
Okay, point your finger at him and say, ha!
No.
So it used to be popular, and now it's not.
Yeah.
It's vintage.
Really?
But
Okay, well, maybe you're just being vintage.
All things come back around.
it's also pretty fucking
All
French.
things considered.
Comes the old French agréance, and would therefore be
Agréance.
expected to be used in areas with the former French influence. And middle name Francis, birthday Bastille Day, so I'm there.
All right.
Pronounce it Lacroix.
Yeah, there we go.
So I'm right, and you're just
Okay.
not that French.
All right.
Do you cook with butter ever, even once?
Key.
Oh, boy.
It's always key.
Shots
Yeah.
fired.
Shots fired.
My family goes through at least
God, am I cooking?
3 pounds of butter a week.
I enjoy butter. I love it.
Butter is amazing.
Yeah. But agreeance is a word.
If the amount of butter you use determines
Whether you're French or not?
you're Francophile, then I'm fucking
Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Jean Valjean.
Jean.
I almost said Jean-Claude Van Damme, but he's like
He's,
Dutch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have
Not-
said
not
he was French for sure.
No.
It's a French-ass name.
Jean Valjean was definitely French.
Definitely. When did you guys tune in? Did you start watching at kickoff, or did
Yes.
you watch the kickoff
Oh,
show?
I
Pre-game.
had it on all morning. As
Yeah.
soon as it would come on, we had it on.
So
I live for
I
it.
thought there was this really interesting and not good Pizza Hut partnership deal.
Oh, I
that was,
hated it.
That was almost exclusively. There was a spot in the game itself, but they did 3 or 4 30-second spots, and they were all the Abe Lincoln stuff. And then they did like a partnership with Magnum PI, and nobody looked excited to be there. But it was like, how much did you spend on this? And it wasn't, in my opinion, it didn't do anything.
Missed the mark.
I don't watch that show, but from what I saw of that, my impression of the show was like, this is terrible acting. Like, they seemed like terrible. And I'm not trying to be mean to all the
You can be mean. You're
people
French.
that are
None
going to
of
listen to
them
this
eat
that are on that
Pizza
show.
Hut.
Right.
But
None of them.
it just was real. I could act as well as they acted in this.
Well, I think they were just
That
trying to match
partnership.
the quality of the product. With
They
their
were.
acting.
They
Oh.
were.
Slammed them.
That
Sorry,
Abe
but-
Lincoln, like the suite
Monday.
of spots was just.
The very first Abe Lincoln spot that started running a month ago,
I don't know if
Where
I'd seen that.
it was
so-
okay, and I liked it. I mean, it was kind of, $5, whatever, and nice tie-in, but yeah. Took it too far.
It did.
Not to the level of Super Bowl Sunday.
Right. And I mean, really, they did. It seems like they blew their budget in the pregame, and then did I think 130 in game.
In-game.
It does.
It's like, I mean, the look on Danielle's face, she's like, if I had $1 every time that has happened to me.
It was mostly
just so
like I thought it
disappointing.
and I wanted to say it, but I was like, don't be an idiot. You don't need to
Right.
say that.
Yeah.
It's just low hanging fruit.
Well, sometimes the low-hanging fruit needs to be picked.
But another thing I said in our recap was that I feel like the vegan jokes and the kale jokes are just so easy.
And so
It's
are
like-
the
Let's stop making them.
Yeah, and so are the Home Assistant,
Yeah.
AI.
Every other
Yeah.
ad had
Yeah.
some joke about
talked about
Google
that as well.
Home
Google
or
Home, yeah.
Alexa.
It's like, okay, we all get it that
Yep.
she misunderstands you from time to time. Haha.
The Pringles one I thought was the funniest.
That was
Well, and I liked GMC.
Play Funky Town.
Did everyone see GMC Trucks was memeing off of all the various ads? So they said that they could carry a big a stack of Pringles chips, and they had a giant Amazon box in
Yes.
the truck, and so
I think I remember.
and I think
Oh,
that,
I don't think I
that
saw that one.
some of what's happening is just kind of the Super Bowl is now spanning into a cultural sort of the cultural commentary outside of the Super Bowl becomes actually more interesting than the ads in the game and the halftime show itself. I
Definitely the halftime show.
actually enjoyed reading various reviews of the halftime show and thinking, okay, I wasn't crazy. Even my wife, who is a huge Maroon 5 fan, which jades me a little bit because I hear it way too often. Even my daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, is like, God, just enough Maroon 5. But I mean, that's the kind of act you were going to book in the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
right? It's
absolutely.
very popular.
Same.
People are
widespread,
familiar with it.
Exactly. Maroon 5.
No
or-
matter who you are,
right.
you're familiar with something.
But and
They're
I think
small.
I always felt like Adam Levine is pretty cool. I've seen him on The Voice or
Yeah.
whatever, and he seems like a cool dude and hip and nice, and he's obviously a great singer.
From California.
He is
But
a good singer.
I was
Yeah,
shocked.
I did not know
In
that.
case you
Shocked
didn't
at
know.
how poorly he dances.
Yeah, those
Very
were
white
funny.
guy dancing.
And he totally. My wife just picked up on it. She's like, "Dude cannot dance," and
It doesn't make sense.
which
He did
makes
shred
no
on the
sense
guitar
to me.
though. On that solo, I was like, okay, actually,
Yeah.
that was good.
Hey,
But-
know
he's
your
from
strengths.
LA.
yeah, know your strengths.
Know your
exactly.
strengths.
Well, and then
He grew
I
up
just
in
feel
LA,
like the
so
shirt
that's okay.
shirt taking offing was just gratuitous and
It
not
was.
necessary.
So I didn't know he was that yadded or yoked. I didn't know he had that many tattoos or that many
looked good.
muscles, you know?
Right, and obviously he felt like
wanted
there weren't enough in your
people
demo
that
who
knew
do
that.
that.
Yeah.
So
He's like,
need
I have
to-
a super bottom wife, but look at this package that
right.
she's dealing with every day.
The voice doesn't let him take his shirt off
No.
often.
No.
So
Not often
I
enough.
guess if I looked like that, I would find excuses to take my shirt off.
Oh, obviously.
I'd be pretty happy with
Well,
it.
everyone who looks like that finds excuses to take
Yeah.
their shirt
I
off.
would.
That's
I would
the
do that.
problem. It's like be the one guy who looks like that who doesn't take their shirt off.
Boring.
No, zig when people are zagging.
You
I don't
got
know.
it, flaunt it, baby.
All right.
I'm surprised
When
you
I get-
guys haven't called this going full McConaughey yet.
Right?
Can we all go back and think about who started the
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
shirtless McConaughey?
When was
And there
McConaughey
were-
shirtless?
He
For
just
like
did
8
it.
years?
Yeah, he did it all the time.
Really?
the early
Playing
2000s.
bongo drums. Yeah,
Yeah.
You were,
In
you were
movies
you were
or-
in high school.
In life.
Junior
Just
high.
in life,
Yeah.
always. Yeah.
Which I've always wondered. He got the police called on him because he was apparently playing his.
Do
was
we
it
have a-
bongos or congas? He was playing drums in the nude, and the police showed up.
Like on his Malibu
But I'm
beachfront
thinking
property?
about that. Like,
Love it.
What neighbor
So
does
on
that?
brand.
I think he
Who
called
calls
the
the
cops on
cops?
himself.
Oh.
Maybe he did. Well, what's the difference between a bongo and a conga?
Oh, conga's bigger. The bongos are the two little ones.
Dumb
Okay.
question.
No. Just wondering.
You're asking me about the word agreement and you don't know the difference between a bongo and a conga?
Yeah.
Well, one has a
I
line.
thought a congo was a line.
Exactly.
Dun, 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 dun,
You
dun,
didn't. You
dun.
never have a bongo line.
Yeah, there's not a bongo
That's
line.
We should start one.
Don't confuse that with the bunghole line.
Bunghole.
Different.
Slightly different. I thought another interesting sort of non like spot ad was the fact that YouTube TV sponsored the entire kickoff show, like, and kind of trumped some of the stuff they did with like Pizza Hut because they had more, I think, spots in that. But YouTube TV
We're
really.
calling that Muellered now, not Trump.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
Muellered.
It's a
hard to
callback
say.
Yeah.
to the future
Can we?
episode.
Yes.
Muellered.
Muellered.
We'll learn about that in a future
Mueller.
episode.
Exactly.
I like it.
Um,
Stay tuned for episode 3 where you'll learn why we call it Muellered.
call that a teaser.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's teaser. Spoiler alert.
Well, hopefully our audience is smart enough to have already figured it out.
Right.
All
but
6 of our audience.
all 6 listeners. Thank you, by the way.
Thanks, honey.
But yeah, YouTube TV. So
you
at
per
first I
demo.
was a little confused. I didn't know. I was debating whether or not this was actually in direct competition with like CBS as a station. But it's like obviously they are a syndicator versus like the actual
They did
content
a
itself.
ton of self promotion.
Well, I mean, I almost every one of their ads I didn't take notes on, except for the they did that 5-second spot that was the Star Trek announcement
Spock
of season
one?
2. Yeah, that,
he looked weird.
yeah. But then it went back and it looked like it was in the game, and it was actually the launch of the Twilight Zone launch trailer for
did-
CBS All Access. It
I
was great.
did like that.
It was great. I'm like a huge old Twilight Zone fan, so I'm stoked that CBS All Access is bringing that back. And to get Jordan Peele to do it, I think it's a great
It was good.
tie-in.
It's a great person to do
Yeah.
it, for sure.
That was a fun spot.
CBS
Other
is
notes
off the air.
Other notes from the kickoff show. Tony Romo's great. We just talked about that.
He was
for a
wearing no
second.
socks.
He's a stud.
Did you guys notice that? With
Nope.
his tennies?
I
was a baller move.
I
Well,
said
he
it.
was probably wearing Skechers.
I said at one point
Man.
that I think it's. I personally, I'm a Cowboys fan, so I'll just caveat it with this. I personally think that Tony Romo is a first ballot Hall of Famer in the NFL. That's debatable, but I honestly believe that his broadcasting career will outshine his playing career.
I agree.
Completely
He's
agree.
going to be like Dandy
He's a
Don
good friend.
Meredith or something like that. And I think that I truly hope that he doesn't fall for the. I hope he doesn't become a coach,
Oh yeah, totally.
Because I think he'd be wasted.
He's even apparently been lured, some contracts lured back to come quarterback, and I'm really glad that he's sticking with the announcing gig.
He's so good at it,
and he was just so excited to be there, literally smiling just from ear to ear, like every comment he was making. I
Right.
loved it. And I think his contract is up this year or next year, and he's gonna get a good little contract bump, either from Fox or whoever wants to try and swoop him up.
The other thing that I think that he does is he really, I hope CBS realizes this, but he really makes them relevant.
He does, absolutely.
And CBS is not a bad sportscasting network, but
No.
they don't have a lot of programming across the board that appeals to a younger audience, and I think that
NCIS Miami? What are you talking about?
Honestly, I love all of the NCIS shows.
God.
I'm a big Survivor fan, but that's
I'm
about
not-
as
I've
far.
never been a
as-
Survivor.
What's
I
fan.
grew up watching Survivor.
The main guy's name?
change
Gibbs?
the way
Is it Gibbs?
game is played. I'm like, really?
What's the main guy in NCIS? The main one is he Gibbs?
Mark Harmon?
Yeah, but his character.
Oh, I don't know. Every time I see Mark Harmon, I think, or every time somebody mentions Ted Bundy, I think of Mark Harmon.
Did he play Ted Bundy? In
He
something?
played Ted Bundy
Okay.
back in the day.
Okay.
And so, like, the Ted Bundy tapes is a popular podcast right now.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was watching it in the laundry room, and I walked in thinking I was going to see Ted Bundy or Mark Harmon. I was really disappointed in what Ted Bundy looks like.
Let's see here. I've got the kind of chronological list of ads. I was really confused by the Rakuten ad. I had no idea what that was, and it was like the vending machine with money.
I didn't get it.
Apparently, they you can like take surveys and do shit online, and they pay you, but they did not do a good job of explaining what that was.
I didn't see that one.
And then that went into the animated Coke ad.
That
which
was cool.
Gorgeous.
They
Absolutely
do a
gorgeous.
nice job of mixing it up like that.
I
Yep.
didn't see that one either.
And that was, I think, the last ad
It's
before
like
the
saying-
game started.
It's like saying the Patriots do a nice job of, getting to Super Bowls. And
They do.
winning them. It's
It's status
Coca-Cola.
quo.
It's like the
Yeah.
biggest brand.
How many times
on
have
the
the
planet
Patriots
Earth.
won the Super Bowl when they're arguably on paper like the 8th or 10th best team in the league?
Right.
I mean, that's what they do. Like,
So, okay. Now let's not get into football.
okay,
This will go sideways really
this
fast.
will go.
not
Okay.
I'll get it back on track. Go for it.
Self-control.
Okay, so into the first ad of after kickoff was the Bon and Vive alcoholic La Croix, but not La Croix.
Is that the one with the
mermaids, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well produced.
It was funny.
It was.
It was a funny Shark Tank.
It's a great placement. I mean, just right off
Yeah.
the bat,
Yeah.
like.
And we happen to be with someone who is a
Huge Shark Tank.
distributor of Anheuser-Busch products.
Oh.
so
Did
we
they
were
bring
taste
it?
testing.
They brought it? How
Yes,
did
we
you-
were taste testing. So here's an interesting behind-the-scenes thing. They are very refreshing, and the first thing I said is I could see myself on a lake this summer getting fucked up on these
Well,
things because they're super. They taste like you're drinking soda water,
have
right?
you tried
they're very
the other
refreshing.
ones? Like the
Well, here let me finish the story.
Oh.
So
Easy.
turns out that when they first developed in product development, they had these at 6.5% alcohol. And they were equally refreshing, and they were like, people are gonna
Getting
get
fucked. What are they
too
at now?
fucked
I'm gonna
up.
die.
So they lowered it to 4.5.
4.5. Okay.
for all the dummies.
And I just thought that was fascinating.
Wine coolers.
The way it was presented to me, it was that Anheuser-Busch InBev was being somewhat socially responsible by
Yeah.
not, malt liquoring them up.
I was gonna say.
Does anyone remember the Colt 45 malt liquor commercials? I referenced one of those the other day, and I realized nobody in
Crickets.
the gym
Some,
understood what I was talking about and thought I was just flat out being a racist.
Some
And
old
I'm like,
English.
I was actually making fun of malt liquor, Colt 45 malt liquor ads, and so
I don't know that.
Brass
fell
monkeys.
flat.
Crickets.
It's unfortunate.
The
when that
old
happened.
days of malt liquor and orange juice.
Can we use this one? I know we're kind of going chronologically, but
We can jump around.
I
That's
want to
fine.
pivot to the bubbly bubbly
Oh my
because
god!
I thought it was
so
funny.
Good.
But I also feel like they're trying to get in the La Croix, how do you pronounce it, lane. It's like, is it bubbly or buble? It's like,
Right.
don't take that clout. That's Qua's thing.
He was so
Yeah,
but
but
it's-
they
No,
they
I-
go
I-
against
Positioning
it.
101.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved the ad. I loved it. It was
LaCroix is
funny.
very much it's LaCroix, not
Yeah.
LaCroix.
Yeah.
Like
The
this-
Well,
problem-
and I think that's a great. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the problem with LaCroix is they don't have a spokesperson
Nope.
with that last name.
No.
So I
Right.
think Bubbly's going to pull ahead in that category.
With the Bublé.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
funny.
no, I think it was a great
Dave.
job of positioning. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
LaCroix has. I still have a hard time saying that. LaCroix has market share, and Bubbly doesn't. And so,
Yeah.
you do whatever you can to.
They must be like pretty brand new, right?
Which-
I hadn't heard of
No,
them before.
I've heard of him, but I'm pretty brand loyal to Qua.
The one thing that Bubbly did it correctly, exactly what I think Bud Light did incorrectly, which is their whole corn syrup campaign just flies in the face of positioning theory.
Yep.
And maybe modern marketers still don't believe in positioning theory. I mean, it's been around since the late 60s.
Explain positioning
I still
theory.
think it's, Rees and Trout wrote a book, basically, marketing, the position in the consumer's mind of your product or brand dictates how you should how you should voice your message, right? So if you're the market lead, you ignore your competition. If you're aspirational, if you're trying to get, usurp number one, comparative advertising makes sense. Bud Light has no reason to compare themselves to Coors and
Miller.
Especially over something as wonky as
Corn syrup.
So I don't know. I have never heard anyone say, "Whew, boy, I'd have a beer, but
I didn't know
I'm
it.
not sure that I don't want anything with corn syrup."
Well, and that's
in it."
what we were talking about in the kind of get together earlier. Is that the differentiator? I mean, is
Right.
that the thing? Like, you're still drinking Bud
So
Light.
here's
like,
where I think it comes from. I think that the the current brand manager of Bud Light was at Bud for a long time, and then he stayed at Anheuser InBev, but went and started their microbrew sort of business.
Yeah.
Did very well with a lot of like Shock Top and all those were kind of his thing, and they did so well building up some of these microbrew brands that they asked him to come back to Bud Light and sort of because Bud Light slid during that time and
Taking
fix
market
it.
share from our other guys.
So I can see where maybe he's taking a page out of, let's use good, better ingredients, They're doing this whole push to put their ingredients on their packaging, and we can become out of the mass produced beers, we can be the ones that do it right and sort of maybe bridge the gap between people who kind of would like to be microbrewy types, but really just want to buy a half rack of and relax at the end of the day. I can see that, but I'm not sure that.
Do you think there's
that was
wisdom in the
way to
long
do it.
play of that? So if it becomes a big deal, let's say 5 years from now, people are really like, oh, no, we found out corn syrup is really, really bad.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen. I guess that's my opinion. The ads themselves. I mean, if you're the agency and you're set and you're told, okay, this is our differentiation point. This is what we want you to do the ad on.
Right.
We want you to use the Dilly Dilly campaign to do it. They did a nice job of that. They did a really nice job of kind of the whole Monty Python meets Game of Thrones, carrying around this big thing of corn syrup like they were delivering it.
It was funny.
That was cute and funny, and I thought the whole time as an advertising person, I'm thinking, wow, that's just so against any theory of positioning that I still believe in.
for sure. Mel, I want to get back to your packaging comments about Bubbly.
I was just saying, I switched just because it looked so nice on the shelf.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah, no idea. I just ran to the store, LaCroix, Clusterfuck.
I love the clusterfuck.
Yeah, it's kind of fabulous in its own right, but Bubbly just stood out, and I was drawn to it, and I didn't care.
That's funny because I've noticed Bubbly in our house, and I don't know who picked it out, either Tracy or Dominic. My son is a huge soda
He's a Bubbly water
He's
guy?
a soda water ever since he was little. But I always felt like Bubbly felt like a white label to me, like a store brand.
So then I guess the next ad was the Bumble ad, the Serena Williams in her court.
yeah. I mean, I guess obviously not the target, but
Right. Well, it immediately followed the Handmaid's Tale ad.
that was
Yeah.
interesting.
I also they kind of started that off as not really being very apparent what it was, but it was Yeah, I mean, I think it was a well done ad, and like watching it the second time in the background, I was like, oh, it's obviously all the yellow with the Bumble colors and the logo, and then the multiple functions of the app itself. Like, I don't know, I thought it was well done, but it was a little. At first, it wasn't too apparent what it actually was for.
Yeah, kind of eased into it.
It took me at the end. I was like, oh, it was for Bumble. I had the same reaction.
Which I was a little bit surprised, just that it would be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Yep.
Apparently, you guys have a little budget.
Yep.
Didn't know that. So I don't know.
Well, also, most advertisers forget that half of the Super Bowl audience are female. So it's nice that they're at least starting to skew some of the advertising that way this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I agreed. I thought it was a nice, like, inspirational spot, but I didn't really know what to do with it. I
Yeah.
feel like there wasn't a strong call to action. I was
I
like,
agree.
Get the app.
Well, and if
'Cause
you
even
don't know what it is,
Someone in our recap was like, well, he didn't even know what Bumble was, and it didn't make him go look it up. Do you know what Bumble is, Ed?
Yeah, it's like Tinder for women, right?
It's
classy
Tinder, but women
Tinder.
have to make the first move.
Right.
and you only have 24 hours. Not that I know this from experience. Not that I'm bitter about rejection.
Did you use it for Bumble BFF only?
No.
Oh, I was giving you an out.
No, I'll
How
take
does it work though? If you are on, can you be a man on Bumble BFF?
Yeah.
So there's no rules.
No. Just
Obviously, there's no woman to reach out first.
well, you can be
Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right.
Yeah.
you can just be friends, or it can be like networking, or
They've
you
got
can
the
be looking
business
for a
version
date.
of it too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I wouldn't use the business version.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a stretch.
Well, I don't even really like LinkedIn, and that's like what that platform is for. So
True. So,
So
moving
you
on.
also probably wouldn't be on Bumble though. You know, not being safe.
I wouldn't be. I'm in a relationship, but when I was in between relationships, I didn't sign up for apps either.
Yeah, I did just because I thought it was fun. But I would be curious, like, what are the metrics of that? Was it successful? Was it not successful? I mean,
What's
you've
your
got
app spike download.
Well, because
like?
here's the thing: looking at the people that were in my living room watching the Super Bowl, how many of them had their smartphones in hand and were watching the game and playing games, surfing Facebook, doing all kinds of stuff? Like, I was surprised.
No, that is a good point. Like
Almost
an immediate.
every adult
Well, that's
had
what
their phone on them.
That's what a 3-0 halftime score was.
Yeah.
It's true.
That is true.
I also like that phrase, surfing Facebook.
Surfing Facebook on the interwebs.
Yep.
Yes.
Did I Google
Don't
anything
mock me,
throughout
Mel.
the game? Not
Do you
sure I
peruse
did.
it?
Google.
What do you do?
Speaking of Google, let's jump into those brand ads because I thought they did a really good job with that. I mean, at first I thought the first one was actually just for the Pixel itself, not realizing that. But by the time the second one played, I was like, oh, they're just doing a straight brand campaign, and it was really good. That second ad, the veterans finding jobs,
That was great.
That was a good one, too.
So
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good example of how big brands should use the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it just happens to be one of the biggest brands
Right.
in the history of mankind. So do it right, and they did it right, so that's good.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
as they should.
the Google Translate. I mean, just the these are the most translated words with how are you and I love you and
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
thought that was good.
Yeah.
It was a nice twist. Well, not really twist, but,
But
It was nice touch.
I like the theme.
yeah.
Yeah. That was nice. I
Yep.
liked the Google.
There was
Google.
the let's pivot to car ads. There was the Jason Bateman Hyundai
That was funny.
ad.
Yeah, well, Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
is-
He's a great choice for spokesperson. I was surprised
Funny
it was a
concept,
Hyundai
too.
ad. Honestly, I wasn't like
Hyundai rhymes with Sunday. They
Yes.
also teach you how to say their brand by
Right.
giving you a rhyme.
I like that.
but yeah, that was a memorable spot. It was really funny. You made a comment about when it showed the car lot.
Mm-hmm.
When
No, I
it
was
opened.
like, that's it. That's a perfect illustration.
Like
It was
half
accurate.
deflated. Like
But I was waiting for the guy to come like off screen and be like, hey, welcome to the car lot. What can I get for you? Can I help you?
Yeah.
Can I get you a drink?
Free coffee, popcorn.
The fact that they didn't do that is good, though, too, right? It's like, don't
Sure.
go.
They
the whole
showed.
way, right?
They showed they didn't.
He was
Yeah.
he was there lurking.
he was.
You know he was.
Show, don't tell.
Yeah.
So there was that one. There was the Audi electric ad. So
Did that resonate with you? Dying because of a cashew?
No,
Ed has a nut allergy.
I do have a nut allergy.
Way to out him.
A personal tidbit about Ed.
Not, but not
Hashtag
all.
EdFacts.
Not all
A little
nuts.
known fact.
I liked the ad. I mean, obviously, so they're trying to make a big move to getting a third of their fleet electric by 2025. I thought it was a funny spot.
I thought it was funny.
I love the electric move. I mean, I do have a hybrid, so you all know that that's something that I feel good about.
I did like
I'm a hybrid driver.
the Hyundai Telluride. I thought that was the best.
I didn't like that one.
Here's what I liked about it. Of the people that were in the living
That was
room watching.
Kia.
No.
Or no, you're right. It was Kia.
Yeah.
Kia.
Yeah, sorry.
Wait,
my
the
bad.
Telluride?
Yeah.
That was Kia.
Kia's
My
that.
bad.
That's so the Telluride. Okay,
Was
Telluride. Which one was the one where they produced shit in Georgia?
That's
the
that.
okay.
Telluride,
Yep.
yeah.
So
I think
Kia.
it's Kea.
It
Rhymes
is.
with Princess Leia.
you're right.
No.
Kea.
Anyway, one of the
like that.
things I liked about that was their choice on the voiceover for it.
The voiceover
And
was
just the way that they built it up, and you weren't sure what was going on, but it was interesting watching the room, and everybody went totally silent, and everybody was in seeing where that went.
See, I
I
thought
thought
it-
it was well done in that regard.
I have an opposite reaction. I felt like it was a manipulation of my feelings for a stupid car ad.
Also successful.
I also had no idea that Kias were produced in Georgia.
Nor did I.
Yeah.
I thought
There.
they were.
I mean, there's a
foreign.
factory there. I'm
There's
sure,
a factory.
but like, I just don't think Georgia when I think of Kia.
Right.
No.
No.
And I'm guessing that the fact that the Super Bowl is in Atlanta had something to do
Yeah,
with their
absolutely.
Yeah.
choice to
Yep.
advertise.
There was the Mercedes A-Class listen ad that
I
was really
thought
good.
that-
Was that
Yeah.
when he said make it cooler?
Yeah.
That one?
Yeah. Okay. So
I thought that was cool. I mean, my
Ludicrous.
comment afterwards, I actually own Mercedes, so everyone looked at me and was like, does that, give you a boner? And I said, well, yes, because that's why you buy a car, as long as you
For
realize
boners.
that nothing...
yes.
Car boner.
You buy a
My
car
hybrid
for
gives
all
me
the
a boner. I
new,
already
the new
plugged
little
it.
tricks, and if you're going to buy a new car, a lot of what oh wow, this has lane assist, or this has look at what this does. The little things that it does
Features.
the features are cool. But I think realistically, it's not going to work for shit, right? It's hence all the
new.
other ads that make fun of AI and
Right.
Google Assistant and things like that.
I thought it was interesting that they, at least from what I could tell, they made a very blatant kind of pivot in their target demo there, because it's a lower price point. They used Ludacris. They used a lot of very
Luda.
a lot of cultural stuff. I mean, I felt it was more kind of targeting like probably someone like me in my early 30s, like
Aspirationally,
Yep.
yeah.
Hip.
Yep.
Cool.
And they realize, I mean, I think that this is what all the German car makers do. Audi, absolutely Audi. Volkswagen did this well for a lot of years, despite, cheating and lying to people.
Other than that.
VW.
Yeah. And Mercedes has done this well. They know that once you start driving their cars, their product is good.
Yeah.
And that they will have a they'll have you for life kind of a thing. And so getting young post millennials or young
Post Malone's.
Post
Yeah.
Malone's.
having 35 40-year-olds think aspirationally and say, yeah, here's a Mercedes I can afford, or even 20 late 20-year-olds,
Yeah.
here's a Mercedes I can afford. You get in and you become kind of brand loyal.
For sure.
Just
Agreed.
one note on that spot. If you're going to use a Luda song in your commercial, the obvious choice for a car one is Move Bitch.
I mean, it is,
For obvious
but
records.
Well, yeah.
yeah,
It
that's a
is.
little.
It is.
What did you guys think
Featuring
of the use
Mystical and
of
some other guy that I can't remember.
hip hop artists across the board? As far as I don't remember last year there being as many hip hop artists. Like there was a bunch in different commercials.
There weren't any that jumped out at me immediately.
Chance the
as,
Rapper
like-
with
Chance the Rapper, 2 Chainz, Ludacris, Cardi B, Lil Jon.
yeah.
I love it. That's like my favorite thing
Cardi
in the
B was
world.
pretty funny.
The Lil Jon Pepsi ad was great, which I want to talk about. But one more to round out the car conversation. Toyota, they had a few spots. So they sponsored the halftime show, just in general, and then they did the.
I
There
don't
was a
remember
super
it.
ad.
There was the super ad.
You geeked out,
Oh.
didn't you?
Oh God, it got me.
So
yeah,
what
I don't care about that car though.
what
so
I
that
didn't
just-
know that it's been 20
Cute
years
pinball.
Yeah.
since, because the Supra when it was here was a pretty high performance car.
Yeah.
Before everything got turbocharged.
It
Now
just-
everything's got a turbo on it.
So I'm really excited they're bringing it back. I thought it was great ad.
And will it be a Celica Supra or just a Supra?
It's just a Supra.
Right.
When was the
But it's only
Supra's
an
heyday?
automatic.
What?
Oh
yeah.
man.
So that was I was looking further into it. They said we'll release a manual if there's interest. So it'll be
If.
So it's
Oh.
going to be the automatic with the paddle shifters. It's a BMW engine, but I like that they kept the Supra branding from the 90s. I think that was a smart move.
Nobody knows how to drive a manual anymore.
That's
They don't even
incorrect.
teach it.
That's all I drive.
Well, yeah.
I start crying when I try to learn because I don't get it right away, and it's
I
frustrating.
love it. I will never go back.
Well, I know how to drive a manual too, but I'm just saying that the everything's going to. I mean, and it actually even
CVT.
Yeah.
They're all CVTs now.
What's CVT mean? This is a lot of car jargon. I'm getting bored.
the technology has gotten to where it can shift faster for you.
Right.
That's not
I feel
fun.
like I have more control though. I mean, and that
Right.
it's a mental thing.
There's
It
just some-
absolutely.
Yeah, but we're getting into car and driver territory here. Right?
And
How
Daniel's
dare
bored.
we?
continuously
Should I
variable
say it again?
Go back to Ad Age.
transmission.
Sure.
So then the other
I also
Toyota-
want to talk about snacks that everyone had. That could be at the end.
I thought, but I did think that the Super ad from a production standpoint was very well done. It was exciting. Pinball Wizard, the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think that
I
it
like
was
how much
cool.
it sounds like Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Super ad, Super Bowl, sup, up, soup, soup, soup.
Yep.
Some alliteration. The other one was the Tony Harris ad. The she's the first scholarship.
Oh yeah. The Toyota.
Oh, the
Overall.
RAV4 hybrid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that car.
Yep.
Looks good. Good ad. She's tough. We get it. Yeah.
I
Good
like
for
that.
her.
I
First,
remember that one.
first
she-
scholarship, female scholarship football player. I think.
And she's not a
Oh,
kicker.
gotcha.
I think she plays in a D2 school. I'm not totally sure. But
We did some Googling. I didn't personally do it, but it's a smaller school. She might be a defensive player. I'd assume like
think
a
she plays
corner or
defense.
something.
yeah, she plays defense.
I'm surprised how many
Strong curl, strong car.
How many ads we've said we've liked because my overall impression was that most of the ads sucked, but
What was
there's
your
actually
least favorite?
more of them that
I liked a lot. I just didn't feel there was anything like Tide last year that
Right.
really jumped out.
Yeah. So we had talked about reach versus frequency, or we will
We
talk
will
about it
talk about it
in the future.
You're confusing yourself.
The avocados from Mexico commercial.
every year.
Yeah.
They
just,
do one
just
every year.
one.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
one. I don't know. What do you think, Ed?
Puppy Bowl, I thought it was a fun tie-in this year, but I mean,
Yeah.
last year I don't believe it had anything to do with it,
I
and
don't
it
think
was
it
just
did.
more of a brand spot. But yeah, I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on that.
I think they do good work.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. I
Plenty
mean, you're
concept.
selling avocados, right?
Yeah.
So,
They sell themselves.
Do you differentiate avocados? You're probably the most specific in terms of your cooking stuff.
no.
I
Well,
find
do you care?
the best one.
all the avocados are from Mexico.
Or California.
No, California makes
Well,
them.
yeah, but
Yeah, they make
It's
them.
basic.
They-
there's
Because they
enough
manufacture them
avocados
there.
from Mexico that if you buy an avocado,
It's the likelihood
they're
is
just
that
they're
it's
raising the I don't think that their goal is to get somebody to go into the store and buy an avocado and say which one of these are from Mexico.
Right.
I think their
Mexico.
goal is to get somebody to go in and buy an avocado. You buy an avocado, chances are their
I would be
revenues
curious.
go
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
No, it is.
I do like their little jingle though.
Yep.
Avocados from Mexico.
Yeah, it's nice.
Gets in your head. You'll sing it later today. Don't worry.
Now
All
isn't there some well you're the hybrid driver. Isn't there some controversy over all of Mexico being turned into avocado? Isn't it bad for the environment or something because they're losing
I don't know that. I haven't heard
I know there
that.
was a
I know
strike.
palm oil that's another big thing.
All the
that's
hybrid
caused a-
drivers we meet on the 15th of each month, so we can talk about
talk
it.
about
You'll bring it
avocado.
up in the
Yeah,
agenda.
Yeah.
we just get together and talk about stuff.
Town hall meeting.
Avocados, the environment. Being socially conscious.
Right.
From a movie standpoint, I thought it was interesting. It was all kind of front loaded. So there was the new footage from Captain Marvel that looked really good. There was the announcement trailer of the Fast and the Furious spinoff with The Rock that was Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes, Fast and Furious presents.
Exactly.
I'm just like, all right.
Apparently Tyrese was really pissed at The Rock, and there was some Twitter
They're
beef
not
there.
friends, yeah.
because he
Oh,
was
really?
like, "How
Yeah.
dare you take this money?" When it's like, "Yeah,
It's all spins the
I'm
same.
gonna take a spinoff." Sorry.
Don't talk
like,
to The Rock like that.
right?
Also,
yeah,
he's
Tyrese.
a
like,
national treasure. He's a good person.
you
we
really
all
want to
like
throw
him
down
right
with
now.
The Rock? I don't.
I
think
call him
anyone
DJ.
does.
That's how well you know him.
He's DJ to me.
National treasure.
Dwayne.
He is.
All right, I'm not going to argue that.
Yeah.
He is.
There hasn't been a bad rock movie.
That's
Well-
sweet.
What
just
about
kidding.
the new Titan series? That's really awful.
I don't know.
Is it bad? Has it gotten any decent ratings? Bad
It's
ratings?
kind of like American Ninja Warrior, but
Oh,
less
the show.
entertaining.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
show,
Yes.
yes.
Sorry,
I
The
haven't
Rock.
watched it. I haven't watched it.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Well, he's, Cena did one. He did one. I think Steve Austin did one. That's kind of the trend with old pro wrestlers.
Did you
is
just
to do-
reference Steve Austin in this podcast?
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold Steve
Cold.
Austin. Wrong Steve Austin. Yes. Like,
We're not talking about the $6
Oh, we're not
million
talking about
man.
$6
that was a
man.
callback to the beginning of the episode.
Right.
But yes.
Full circle.
Yep. I just caught one other note in here that I thought was interesting is in regard to Bud Light. That big
Out of home.
the out of home placement that they had that was
On the building?
Yeah,
That was
they,
cool.
They showed the Skycam a few times on that. That was awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta, yeah. Yep.
The ATL.
Yeah. And they had footage from that a few times, and I just thought it was such a clever and it wrapped around the building, so it was a really cool shot. I don't know if you were on the ground looking up from like weird angles if it would totally.
I don't think it would
be visible,
Yeah, they don't
but-
care about that.
Yeah,
It's
but I
just
mean,
about
of course,
the TV
but
coverage.
yeah.
TV coverage.
Okay, let's move to Pepsi.
It's
So
Coke.
I thought this was
Can't
interesting because the first
they want
brand
the person wanted a
uttered
Coke.
in that was them asking for a Coke.
Yeah.
There's your positioning.
Yep.
But in
But
Pepsi's
Pepsi
case,
should position
yes.
up to Coke.
Yep. So that's correct positioning.
Yeah.
We have 2 examples of correct positioning and 1 example of incorrect positioning. If you believe in positioning theory, which is simply a theory.
Well,
Which is
and
simply a theory.
flipping that, I mean, and it's an example that everyone can relate to. Being in a
Absolutely.
restaurant, asking for a Coke and being like, well, is Pepsi okay? And it's
I
like,
say no.
Pepsi's more than okay. I mean, and that's what
Yeah.
they spin on there. I mean, I say no too. Because
I
I'm
say
a
no.
Coke loyalist. But
That spot was really funny. I actually think that maybe was
Steve
my
Carell,
favorite.
Lil Jon, Cardi
Cardi B?
It was a great,
Steve Carell?
Yeah.
He was fine.
Will John.
Yep.
Those are such good. That's a good trio.
Yeah.
There might be anyone else in there, but I thought it was really funny.
And they called back to it a few times and like leading into the halftime show and coming out of it with some different footage. But yeah, no, I thought it was
Coke or Pepsi for all of you.
I'm a Coke guy. Diet.
Coca-Cola. But I did spend a good 10 years of my career with Pepsi as a client, so I
Really?
I went exclusive Pepsi during that time.
That's nice of you. I wouldn't do
Dedicated.
Oh, well.
that. Would we have it in
like
the
that.
agency?
Hmm?
Would we have it stocked in the fridge?
Yeah, we didn't have any Coke in the agency. at
Oh
that
my
time.
gosh. What
In
about
fact, I
you?
used to give a certain art director a lot of shit because
'Cause
he
he
would
liked
sneak in. He would sneak in Coke from home.
yeah. I see it.
Brand
Lifetime Coke drinker, and then switched to Coke Zero. But
I
still
was a
Coke.
Pepsi guy.
Mel?
I had a little Dr. Pepper stint.
Well, you mentioned RC Cola earlier. I loved RC Cola back in the day when I was like at home from soccer practice.
When you drank it in
actually
2
on
liters.
on my bike ride from soccer practice home, there was an RC Cola machine outside of Safeway. I'd hit that bad boy and chug one. Like, oh, it's such a chuggable cola.
One of my favorite Family Guy jokes of all time was when they were trapped in a desert, walking through, and they saw a Coke machine in the distance. And they walk up to it, and it was a Mirage, and it was actually an RC Cola machine. And they were like, "Never mind, we're good." And
Did anyone here's mom's drink Tab?
Oh,
That was
yes.
my mom's jam, and
My
she
mom's
would
a Coke drinker.
tell us we couldn't have any. But
That
I
was
don't
when
drink.
Why could
that was
you-
when sugar free first came out. They
Right.
Were the,
Wait, why would she say no? Just because you were kids, or she
Yeah,
didn't want to share?
because we were
Okay.
kids, she didn't want to
Okay.
share.
I
She
thought there was
probably
something
wanted
special
us to
about it.
drink Kool-Aid or some cheap shit like that.
Something
Yeah.
better for you.
way healthier.
Right, way better. I don't drink a lot of soda, but when I do, it's gonna be a Crown and Coke.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, most of the time I
Cap.
have soda, it's with alcohol for sure.
I don't know if that counts.
Was Tab Coke or Pepsi, or were they their own?
Tab was its own thing. I
I
think.
want to say it's its own. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, I don't think that anything mixes with whiskey as well as Coke. Jack Daniels and Pepsi does not.
Yeah,
Tab was
taste as good
Coca-Cola.
as Jack Daniels.
It was.
It says Tab manufacturer, Coca-Cola company.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
I will agree with Ed. That whiskey does taste better with Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, whiskey and Pepsi just doesn't sound right.
I was
Well,
at
and
a,
I also don't think that there's certain like
You won't mix certain
Beam
things?
doesn't mix well with cola.
But do you like it straight?
Like Jack Daniels does.
Yeah, why
in
is
my
that?
opinion. I don't know. Beam has a weird taste that doesn't blend well with.
Are you
with
ever
cola.
a
Doesn't
neat
play well
or
with
on
others.
the rocks drinker, or are you exclusively a mix it with Coke drinker?
No, mostly I'm neat on the rock. Well, I shouldn't say mostly. Jack and Coke is my
Go-to order?
go-to order for like post round of golf or end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm gonna like sit at a restaurant and have a cocktail before dinner, it'll be a Scotch or a
He'll be fancy.
bourbon on the rocks or something, or a Manhattan.
There's a lot more ads we can talk about, but I kind of want to hit
Talk
on.
about snacks instead.
Well, we can finish with snacks, but I
Yeah.
want to hit on what was your least favorite ad?
Oh.
I'm gonna go against the grain. I did not like the Andy Eat Like Andy, the Burger King.
Oh, this is the first time we're talking
okay.
about this.
I didn't like it.
Okay.
I
It
was just
definitely
like,
made me think.
I don't know. I don't know if I just didn't get it. I mean, at first I was like, who is this? What is this? Later on,
I second guessed
figured it
myself.
out,
I
but
thought
was
I
like-
knew for sure it was him. Then I was like, am I being dumb? Is that someone I just don't know
Right.
about? Or is it an actor
I just
playing
didn't-
him?
I just didn't get it.
The cool thing that we found out in doing some research, it was actual footage
Well,
that
yeah, it
someone
was-
uncovered and
An agency uncovered
Yeah.
it. They were doing
Well, it's
research
not
for a
like
campaign.
it wasn't.
Ogilvy.
Yeah, and I don't think it was real rare. I mean, I think people knew about it. It was an actual art piece that
right.
he had done.
It was like a French.
Well, I didn't know
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
And he originally
French. Shocker.
and originally he had asked for a Big Mac, and,
Yeah.
and apparently somehow that changed to a Whopper. But
We were also talking about Whopper. Did he ask for it plain, or did it used to just come with the patty and bun? Because he opened it and
Andy
looked
Warhol
at
seems like a plain burger kind of guy.
Yeah,
yeah, I
it.
don't- I-
But ketchup on the side. Also enjoyed that he was a dipper, just straight.
right, I do that.
I'm more of a.
I love to dip a
take
burger.
I take a fry and use it to schmear.
Yes, I do the same.
Yeah, it's combo bite 101.
Yeah. You know how I did the
Advanced.
best combo? By I put a bunch of fries in my mouth and then I just squirt ketchup in. You ever
Wow.
do that? Like when you're
I see that.
driving.
Can I one up
or
you with a Clark
passenger.
one?
Passenger.
Yeah.
Clark will take an emergency packet and put it in his mouth and then drink the water.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's
So-
that's
But-
brutal.
Fo-
If I don't show up to
he
work
also,
one day, it's because
also
he
put
murdered me.
Alka-Seltzer in his
That's-
coffee.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that one
Yeah.
was.
I think that Clark has some interesting issues with effervescent
He's a funny
drinking.
That's one way to put it.
guy. We like Clark.
So I will say this about Burger King using that their jam. They've kind of said we're going to be weird and out there.
That's true.
You know, they've been weird with the
Yeah.
Burger King
Yeah.
mascot guy, and they've done a lot of
They are super weirdos.
weird shit, and
It did stand
This-
out. I'll
it-
give him credit
It
for
stood
that.
out. Agree.
especially given that it was late in the game
Yeah.
when it ran, and yeah, I mean, not that they had any knowledge of that, but
Do you guys remember when that Burger King restaurant burned down and they ended up turning it around into that
That was
great
brilliant.
social media ad about their charbroiled burgers
right.
and stuff?
They're pretty smart.
Making some lemonade, baby.
Lemonade.
Well, they've
Yeah.
they've had one of the better social media writing
Absolutely.
in the last 2 or 3 years.
Agree.
They've done a really nice job of both like sort of fishing for like sort of what's the word I'm looking for, where you kind of
Goading people?
trolling their competitors,
Yeah.
but then also supporting their competitors when
I think
bad
Wendy's
shit
does
happens.
it better, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wendy's is probably the A1 example. But agree.
Shit, maybe I was thinking of Wendy's this whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Because Wendy's is like known for their. I mean, they're like there's some social media person on there
But
that's
Burger King's
just
still.
chiming in.
They're in
there.
that vein.
Yeah, they do.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to be a yes man. You're
Thank
always
you
right,
for-
Ed. But
Thank you for bailing me out on that.
no, I agree. Wendy's gold star.
I did have a note on here of hashtag eat like Andy. What the fuck did I
I
just
saw
watch? Like,
your
Right.
notes were actually really funny.
Yeah.
A lot of them were like, "LOL, I had no idea what was going on." It's like true.
Yeah.
Agree.
in real time. But
Yeah.
no, but once I dug in further, I liked it. I just don't know if the Burger King audience and the Andy Warhol audience has a lot of overlap. I mean,
Right.
Well, like, for example, that was Emily's favorite spot at the Super Bowl.
Emily, oh,
Our
Yeah.
Emily.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like, I think they got.
and then
And
I
someone-
asked her,
yeah.
Emily the vegetarian.
and
But
then
no,
I
no,
asked
but yeah,
her,
listen.
but would you eat Burger King? And she's like, well,
She said,
I mean,
"No, I'm a vegetarian." It's like, "Hello, get a French fry, girl. Those are vegetarian."
If I wasn't,
And she eats fish. So I also was wondering,
So she could get a whaler.
Do they have their?
Isn't that
do
the
they
Burger
I was
King
gonna
fish
say, do they
sandwich?
have a version of a filet fish? I would never order
I
that.
think it's called the whaler, which is just.
It's insane that
Is it
people
whale
get
meat?
those things.
So have you seen the mystery box that comes?
I don't know the mystery box.
Okay, so I'm doing a little research on the fly.
Oh, look at you.
So there's the Eat Like Andy deal, and you can order a mystery box, and inside the mystery box
Oh, I'm into this. I might do it.
is a wig and a ketchup squirter.
We're doing it.
I think you should.
That's pretty.
Ketchup
that's pretty
squirter?
clever. Pretty.
Also,
clever.
what's the ketchup squirter?
Like a ketchup bottle, like the red ketchup bottle, the classic one you like. Squirter bottle.
They give you a whole thing. Okay.
There's no brand. It's
I
just
thought it was a
ketchup.
subcategory of porn.
Ketchup squirter.
There's a transition to
That's a yikes.
Rule
the
32.
the commercial with the guy with the addiction. The
Oh
what was
yeah,
it?
we talked about that.
Oh, I really liked that. I thought it was fun.
what's
it
was
called?
it? It was the
The
Devour.
Devour. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
So they made a play
yeah.
on the porn addiction, and I
He
was.
slams the laptop shut.
So
when she
my thing
walks
is like in the age of everyone getting upset about something, is there already backlash on that? Like, kind of being insensitive people who do have porn addictions and stuff.
I don't know if there's a lot of people like championing that cause. Like,
People need to be.
Well,
Yeah. It's tearing people apart.
equal rights.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, it wouldn't surprise me if people are already pissed about that ad.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
I can't remember what it was for, to be honest.
Devour the
like a-
frozen dinner.
Oh yeah, and it's a 3-minute thing. Yeah, la. That's my feeling. La.
What was your least favorite ad, Ed?
oh boy. Well, Turkish Airlines manages to waste a bunch of money every year.
Yeah,
Well, so
what?
it was Emirates Airlines last year.
Well, no, Turkish did one too last
did
year.
they?
That
Okay,
was
they
so
both-
forgettable that,
I guess.
Right.
That, yeah.
You can't
And
remember
I
it.
can't even remember.
and I don't know if maybe I should probably have looked this up. But maybe Turkish Airlines is partly owned by their government, and they're just
I
looking.
thought it was a
to-
PR
Yeah.
stint.
They're just looking to generate PR for Turkey.
But the spot was just like you thought it had a plot, and then it didn't
say
have
right
a
that was
plot.
directed by Ridley Scott.
Or at least, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Which-
cash grab?
Well, total cash grab.
Yeah.
But like,
Well, it would, yeah.
I thought at
Is
the
it
end
a
it was
movie?
like
Is it not?
flying is travel's difficult, but fly with our airline and you won't be frazzled like this. Because at the beginning she was like, it seemed like she was a fucking spy. Was
Look,
she not a spy?
flying to
think
Turkey's probably not the best idea right now.
Well, that's
so-
yeah. I mean that. I don't know.
I just feel like ads shouldn't cause me stress.
Yes,
Right.
anxiety.
Yeah, that was,
That's what I thought it was going to come back to.
I agree. Like,
It never resolved.
especially when you're talking about flying to another country, they shouldn't promote ads that stress you out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That was
Australia,
confusing.
totally different.
And that was right
They
off.
did
the,
one last year.
The tourism Australia
It was
one, the
great.
Crocodile Dundee
Yeah.
sequel movie joke was great.
Yeah, that was well done. Turkish Airlines, not.
That was a gross fart noise.
That was. It was
pretty-
very juicy.
yeah. Like that was a wet fart,
Add it to
and
the
everyone's
soundboard.
upset now.
Yeah, I think more of a.
Yeah. That's
Versus that.
that's less gross. Don't do it. Okay, so quickly
want
before
to.
we get to snacks, can we talk about Zoe Kravitz? How beautiful she is in
The
that
AS-
ASMR one. Did you?
Oh yes.
Did you love that
and
one?
So here's
Did-
yes.
talk
I
to us
actually
about- 'cause you had
we
kids.
rewound it and watched it again because
No
the
one was
group of
listening.
people that I was with are all in their late 30s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bit older than that, but I have a teenage daughter
Who's
who
into it.
is. Well, she's not into it in that she doesn't like go around listening to it all the time.
She's familiar with
but
the
she's
concept.
familiar with it, and she's always doing it. So she'll like come up to me and go, "Hey, Dad, listen." It's ASMR.
I can't.
Is it ASMR? Am I
Yes.
saying that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always
No,
them
let's
mixed
get them fucked up and make them sound silly.
Autonomous
Everyone-
sensory meridian
Sen- meridian,
response.
yeah.
So the ad starts playing. Everyone's like, "What the fuck is this?" Right?
And then she's like,
I'm like, it's AMSR because I said
Yeah,
it wrong,
right,
or
of
it's
course.
AMRS or whatever that shit's called.
Everyone's-
It's
Livy,
MRSA.
Livy, get in here, and she was playing with the younger kids, so she came in and we watched it. She's like, "Oh yeah, this is
Pure.
ASMR." And,
You're in your head about it.
And then I'm like, okay, that's cool. And it was sort of just culturally relevant. And I think it was for Michelob.
It was.
It was.
It
For
stood
Michelob.
out to
Michelob Gold.
me among all the other beer ads is the
Well-
one that was the most kind of unique.
Yeah, for sure.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
She didn't take a sip of it at the end, which is funny in an ASMR thing if you're going to feature all
Yeah.
these sounds. Like
There was
taking a sip.
The pouring
Makes-
and the bubbles.
Yeah,
and,
there's the
I was-
pouring. She holds it. She's beautiful. I love her so much. And you just stare at her face, like
maybe her contract said I'll do anything
Except drink your
except for
nasty ass
drink a
beer.
beer on.
because it has corn syrup in it, bitch.
Right.
Plot twist, and you
Yeah.
know she's all natural.
Hasn't it been only just a couple, 2 or 3, I don't know, maybe 5 years since you could show alcohol
people
being
sipping.
consumed in
That
advertising?
is recent.
Right.
Yep.
So it's only the last few years, maybe.
Little funny ASMR.
But I think that I
tidbit,
will
though.
say that the use of that was just kind of old school beer marketing.
I liked
just
it.
do an entertaining spot, attach our, make it something that people will talk about, attach your beer to it, and versus say the bud stuff, which was just not strategically sound in my opinion. So
I liked that they had the 2 mics and did
Fresh
the left
advertising
channel,
too.
right channel
That was
stuff.
pretty cool.
I mean, they made it look like it was like an actual ASMR video,
Right.
I liked
except
it.
in a gorgeous, like,
Yeah.
right, yeah,
It was
Yeah.
it was cool. So
Zoe Kravitz could sell dog shit, and I would buy it.
she's beautiful.
Yeah.
my
So-
ASMR right now.
So in my attempt to do a little live ASMR, I took a carrot.
Oh,
put it
carrots
in-
are good.
Put it in my mouth. Well, the part though that's humorous is I chomped down on the carrot and shot the other side of it right into somebody's face.
Oh,
because I
that's
was
like in
very
Matilda.
close.
Dip face.
I did a little
Can you
Colgate.
remember that scene?
I was gonna say we
Close talking. I was close talking, and I almost put someone's eye out with half of a carrot.
Classic.
What about you, Mel? Least favorite ad?
What was that? I feel bad that I can't remember, but I guess it's
Well, that's
why
why
it was so
yeah. No.
non-memorable. What was the pet one where they had cute animals, but it was about
The golden retriever. It
pet
was
mats and
Weather-
dog dishes.
weather
and
guard.
shit?
It was the-
Oh,
Safe.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Weather Tech.
Weather
Weather
Tech.
Tech.
whatever that company is. Sorry.
Weather
I-
Tech.
You know, they've
The
done
cup
Super Bowl
phone
ads.
All press is
thing,
good press.
whatever.
They've done Super Bowl ads for a couple
Yeah.
years too.
Yeah, I
So
just
they-
thought it was boring. Like when you can use tons of cute pets
There's so
in
much
your ad,
opportunity.
it should stand out better than that.
Yeah.
But they're walking through a weird factory, and honestly, I don't give a shit how you manufacture my dog dish.
Mm-hmm.
That
So you
ad
hate
was
your dog?
That's what I heard.
Indeed.
Oh, there was also a product tie-in / corporate partner thing at the beginning for Wilson Football starring Russell Wilson.
Oh, I didn't
remember
see
that?
I
that.
think I missed that.
It was stupid.
Well, guess I don't need to go
actually
rewatch
like,
it.
And I actually like Russell Wilson. I own a pair of his shoes. You're a big Russell Wilson fan, right? No, you're a Phoenix.
Well,
But
I'm a
you like-
Cardinals fan, but I do like Wilson, and I like
did
his
you-
wife a lot.
What did you think of? Do you remember what I'm talking about for Wilson footballs? Did you see that?
I didn't see
It was
that
kind of
ad.
it was
Oh,
it was
Sierra.
it was before the game,
Right.
and it was like, this is us making all the footballs for Super Bowl, and everyone that worked there was Russell Wilson, so they did the whole.
Oh, that's
There's
funny.
100 Russell Wilsons, but it
that's-
was just
Missed that.
Russell Wilson has a long way to go before he's Peyton Manning.
Peyton.
As far as an
Dude,
actor,
he's just the best at doing
yeah,
that.
he is. It's all those appearances on Saturday Night Live. That's where he got his chops.
He's funny. He was on the Bob and Tom show quite a bit, radio-wise.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was very funny on that.
You talking about Russell Wilson or Peyton Manning?
Peyton Manning.
Okay, I was like, I didn't know that.
But that's because being in Indy, that's where the Bob and Tom show is based out of. So
My least favorite was probably the Telluride one. That car.
really,
Yeah, and it's
you hate kids from Georgia?
yeah. Fuck kids from Georgia
right.
specifically.
Just to clarify.
I have cousins in Georgia, so they can fuck off too. But no,
Sonny Michelle
I just didn't-
really is angry about that statement.
I just felt like it was a weird manipulation of my feelings, and I don't appreciate that.
It's fair.
I just didn't like it. And then the
so you
car-
were in. It had your attention.
It had my attention, and then it
went
was just a
sideways,
stupid car ad.
and you're
Yeah.
like, "Damn it!
Yeah, so like I don't appreciate that.
I don't care if you
Well,
can drive through a creek."
It was
Yeah, which was
I think my comment at the time was, get rid of the product shots.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just
If
use
it's a
it for
spot
your-
about your
use it for your
manufacturing,
brand.
yeah.
Use it for your brand. Get rid of the product shots.
And it was a minute 30. It was a long
It was
spot.
a long spot.
It-
And
it's a very long
I don't like I think the kid had a good voice, but again, it just didn't fit with what the spot was for me. Like, why is this little boy? Is he working in the factory
They
manufacturing
don't
shit?
allow that. Not in.
They do in Georgia.
in Georgia. They do?
About 60 miles out of Atlanta.
Kia factories.
I'm surprised no one has
Little hands.
mentioned the Wix ad.
So I had that on my list.
Yeah.
It was pretty boring.
The Carly
That's not-
Kloss.
Yeah, that's not new. Like
That was boring as shit.
I was waiting for the skip ad to come up on the bottom right.
It was, yeah.
That thing gets served to me on
You got
YouTube all the
buku
time.
bucks for that, I bet too.
Oh yeah.
What do you think of the mint one? Mint
So
wireless.
that actually,
The chunky milk.
the chunky milk
Yeah.
one. Oh God. I
It
didn't
was
like it for
funny as
different
shit.
reasons. Yeah.
But I mean, come
was
on.
funny,
it
but it was
just
gross.
like,
It just made me
Do you think
cringe a
they were
little
drinking blue cheese dressing?
Oh.
No, I think it was really.
Apparently,
The
there's
last
other
scene
And then when they're
she's
casting the
actually
spot?
chewing it.
They
Yeah.
were casting people like, do you like blue cheese? And everyone was like, no, it's terrible. And they finally found a girl who's like, yeah, I love blue cheese. And they're like, you got
You're
it.
in.
You're in this spot.
You're in the spot.
I think my least favorite was probably just the whole Bud Light trying to plant their flag with the corn syrup. That really just it was a weird thing. And then the actual Budweiser ad that was the powered by wind. I thought it was a beautiful spot, but like again, like is that the differentiator? Like is
Right.
that the thing that really like I'm gonna choose Budweiser because they use wind power?
Yeah.
Like
So yeah, and I've said this ad nauseum, but the ad itself, the actual dilly characters doing the corn was well done.
oh, it was.
and
It was
humorous.
funny.
But
Yeah.
if you subscribe to the...
Yeah, I just don't get
Yep.
what you're trying to.
Yep.
I
do there
liked
as a
the
product.
clarification at the end about like
Yeah.
it was funny, but if you
To clarify,
subscribe-
we use corn syrup.
Mhm.
That was funny.
That was a cute line.
Yeah. Yeah. There was one ad that we did not talk about that I wanted to, I think, touch on because I think it ties into some work that we've done was the Washington Post ad.
I actually saw that ad without the sound, and my first thought was I liked it better when New York Times did it. Then, in preparation for this,
That's funny.
That is funny.
Then, in preparation
Did remind me
for
of
this, I
Watched it.
listened to it and realized that Tom
Hanks voiced
was
it.
Yep.
voicing it, and then I'm like, oh, okay, he played the guy in the movie, and there's that whole tie-in.
Yep.
And it's a good message, and
It is a good message.
it's easy to do too. I mean, it's like that's so I guess I give it a pass, but I think it's low hanging fruit from a standpoint of course that's what you're going to do. When I made the comment that I liked it the first time that New York Times did it, I immediately thought, but we've done something very similar for a newspaper campaign that was extremely effective, and so I was being a bit of a hypocrite.
That's what resonated with
Eat a
me.
little bit of crow.
Immediately just thinking like, obviously knowing kind of the other side of that a campaign we ran was very successful in that realm. I was able to see like I thought it was a good strategy.
We did a good job.
I also like the fact, and I've always preached
Pat on the
this to clients.
Brad.
I like the fact that the Washington Post carried the flag for all journalism, right? So they showed clips of Anderson Cooper. They showed clips. So these are people that are not, they're not financially tied to that. They're just saying,
News is important.
journalism matters.
Getting the truth out there.
Yeah. So from a standpoint, I thought strategically it was very smart.
I like the tagline "Democracy dies in darkness."
I did like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk snacks.
Let's talk snacks.
I'll go first. Clark and I started off with a nice meat and cheese tray.
Oh.
Some charcuterie.
Yeah, some charcutes. Anywho, then Ed, I'm curious to see your reaction on this because I thought I love a low maintenance crock pot thing. So I found a chicken wing crock pot thing, but it made them so like it wasn't. You couldn't really hold them up in your hand. So
They fell apart.
yeah, crock potted them and then you broiled them to finish to try to get them crispy. But like that didn't. I'm not gonna do it again. Like it was good, but it was not like what you want when you're making yourself a wing.
Lessons learned.
Life lessons.
Yeah. That's
So,
good.
I had and then we were gonna make some homemade pizzas, and we were too full from our charcutes and our wings, so
Oh.
just
It
went.
was just the two of you.
Yeah, just Clark and I together, and Henry. Don't forget him.
We had enchilada palooza at my
I
house.
saw that.
Oh,
Yeah.
cute!
Jealous.
What?
Yeah.
Can you explain that? everyone's supposed to bring some
that was you.
chiladas.
I thought that was Jody DePalma. I just misread it on
it's
whatever
me.
social media you posted.
No, it's me. So the idea is bring your favorite enchilada dish.
I love that.
And it was.
Why didn't you share it with me prior?
Well, because you weren't coming to Enchilada Palooza.
Well, I could have stole the idea.
I didn't want to break your heart.
Okay.
You and Clark could have.
Yeah.
just
So I did.
I would have made 2 different kinds.
I did 2 different kinds of enchiladas, and they were super.
What
yummy.
kind did you do?
I did a mojito lime with a green sauce, and then I did just a yummy red sauce with some minced garlic and some green onions, and sauteed that up. And
Was the red sauce one a beef and the green
no,
sauce
they're
one a
both
chicken?
both chicken. I got the rotisserie chicken from Costco.
And then you
they
just
just-
shredded it up.
Yep, just chopped her all up, and it was pretty yummy. So I brought some of the red ones today. I'll let you have some.
Swagoo. I was more interested in the green, but that's life.
Well, I have some of those left over as well because I made
A shit
lot.
ton.
Yeah.
We also had a lot of chips, like a sour cream and onion lay. Perf.
Yeah.
Bomb.
I did.
Personal fave.
Yeah, Ed, talk to us.
Well, I smoked 3 racks of ribs.
Okay.
Not sure where
Had
that
about-
sentence was going.
No. No wonder he was eating all
6
day.
hours of smoke on some ribs, and I made some bacon wrapped shrimp. And I did some Moore's Party dip, which was super yummy.
Is that
I mean,
the
that's
mayonnaise
classic.
one?
Did some Jarlsberg cheese dip.
Did you
Another
take that
classic.
Jarlsberg that's in the fridge?
No, I wish I had because I paid
It's expensive.
I paid $1 something an ounce
Yeah.
for Jarlsberg at Albertsons. It's
Yeah.
Freaking their cheese prices are unreal. What else did I make? I also made homemade beanless chili to go on chili dogs.
I love a beanless chili.
and then some
My
double
grandpa
R
always does it
4 to
for
a
me
pound
special.
hot dogs. So we did chili dogs.
So you really took it easy this year.
I
was a
woke
light.
up at 2 a.m, absolutely miserable.
Oh, from eating.
Absolutely
I thought you were going to say for prep. And I was like, oh, God.
Miserable,
He ate,
I ate too much.
Too much.
which probably had something to do with the smoked ribs.
Yeah.
Well, smoked ribs will do that. Most times.
What, Mel, you were we talked about this a little, but tell us again what you had and what bevies you had.
So I had to find an easy out because I was traveling and had a bunch of shit going on. So I decided when you don't have time to cook, you call in B-dubs to the rescue, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I know this is going to be busy. So early in the morning, I placed this order for like 7 hours later. And then I also know that it's going to be a shit show at B-dubs. So I plan to pick up everything at like 3:30. I've given myself a solid hour buffer. Well, it took B-dubs 50 minutes after my 3:30 pickup time
Really?
or 3:20 or whenever it was to get the order ready.
So they basically started
give a
the
shit
order when
about
you
it,
got
yeah.
there. You could have
Yeah.
just gone to the restaurant. And,
Yeah.
But you couldn't have gone to the restaurant because there was a long line
Right.
of people trying to get in or place their orders then. So those people that were just trying to place to-goes probably never got food by the time the Super Bowl was over. But it was a frenzy at B-dubs. But, they delivered.
Another Super Bowl in the books. The game sucked, but defense wins championships.
So boring.
Can we all just agree that it's time for Brady to just walk into the sunset? Him and Belichick and Gronk. Oh,
That lady was
oh,
trying to
the
ask.
Gronk cruise?
She asked
I
that
had
pretty
a
directly.
question I wanted to ask
I knew you were going to get around to
totally
this.
missed. I can't believe I forgot about this. All right, this is great end of show content.
Ew.
Rob Gronkowski does a cruise every year. Who is the target demographic? Who is saying, like, that's going to be my annual vacation?
Chaz
Chaz.
and his buddies.
Well, okay, so I was thinking about this. I was like, it's probably not like your frat bros in college. I don't know
No.
if they're pooling money to go on the Gronk cruise.
Mom and Dad can for them.
I mean,
a
they,
lot of them.
they could, but like, I'm like, is it that like 35, 40-year-old person who wants to like relive?
Yes. That's
The,
Uncle
like-
Rico.
It's Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico.
Uncle Rico.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's like there are 2 vacations a year, that and the Kid Rock cruise.
Right, right.
Don't forget
Legends of Rock.
sailing with the Scots, the Property Brothers cruise.
Oh,
Property Brothers.
I love the Property Bros. That's my opinion.
I think there's just people out there that want to party.
No, I'm sure there are, and I
Gronk
say it in jest
Yeah.
because they were talking about this being Gronk's last
Right.
year, and they're like, well, he's busy. It's like, what, do you go run the cruise full time? Like,
Right.
just
It's all the people that couldn't afford tickets to Firefest.
I was thinking about
Callback.
Firefest too. But if he's been doing it for years, at least you're not going to be sleeping in a.
Hey, Walmart
Canvas
shoppers
tent.
need influencers too.
So I saw on LinkedIn this past weekend, someone released the sales deck for the Fire app, and I have it. So
You do?
I will be
What?
sharing that.
Speaking of being released a little early, somebody posted on Facebook hey, now that the Patriots have won the Super Bowl, you can get their merchandise. Hey,
Prior to
Super Bowl-
them winning?
Super Bowl champions. The day before is what I heard.
Oh,
Somebody lost their
hashtag
job.
conspiracy theory.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Well, they produce them for both.
I know
They do.
that,
They
but
do.
they usually don't release them a day early.
This year it was kind of obvious, though, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the minute it wasn't the
Saints.
Saints, you knew that the Patriots were going to win.
All right, that wraps up
I think it
our,
wraps up. Yeah.
our super show.
Okay, was the Super Bowl better or worse than Fire Festival?
Better.
Better.
Okay.
It happened, so automatically it's
Good
better.
question, but better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jeez.
Less entertaining though.
No one had to suck dick for
have
water.
well, and I have
Are you sure about that?
No, I'm not.
Allegedly.
Legend.
I just have a feeling Maroon 5 should have followed the lead of Blink 182.
And just dropped out.
backed out at the
Yeah,
last minute.
right.
At least there was.
Okay.
Talk
full
about
circle.
cultural
Perfection.
relevance. That
Right.
would have been
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, we saw how this played out. Anyway, thank you for joining us on the Super Bowl Super Show episode of AdSquawk. Be sure to follow us at AdSquawk Pod. Chirp at us using hashtag AdSquawk, and please leave us reviews on all of your
5 stars, nice
local-
comments only.
local podcast listening
All comments
devices
are welcome.
/
No.
services.
Be nice.
And then, send us your favorite stories, bad ads. We would love to hear from you. So until next time.